Resource person for today's webinar is Mrs. Rajvi Saida Kabana Shireen Madam, who is Executive Engineer at Kada Office, Aurangabad. And today's coordinators for this webinars, Dr. Masrat Sultana is a coordinator for this webinar. Also, Professor Mahesh Hudekar, Professor Raki Nimbore, and the convener is the head of the department, Professor S.A. Behere, and all the faculty members from civil department, HODs from other departments, faculty members, and most important, the participants and dear students. So the topic is very important, dear students. First of all, I would like to congratulate the coordinators, Dr. Masrat Sultana and others, for taking initiative to organize this webinar on this important subject, benchmarking of irrigation projects in Maharashtra state. Dear students, Maharashtra is called as a drought area, particularly Marathwada and western Vidarbha part, and central Maharashtra is a drought area. Though there is abundant rainfall in Konkan and eastern part of the Maharashtra, and also normal and well rainfall in western Ghats of Sahyadris. However, Marathwada, there is always a deficit of the rainfall, and we need to have a proper management of water supply and collection of this water in various dams and various projects. Dear students, we need to have proper management of water because there is a huge scarcity of water in Marathwada, all districts. To name few, Jaikwadi Dam is there in Marathwada. In other part, Koina is there, Ujni is there, Vainganga is there, and other small projects are there. But proper management of water is needed so that every part of Maharashtra will get proper supply of water and deficit of water will be removed. And for that, we are engineers, civil engineers need to work on it to have a proper management of water. Sometimes dams are constructed on proper sites, and if some politics is involved, in that case, sites may be changed, catchment area may be less, or in some cases, the height of the wall may be less or more. There should be proper management to have a proper planning of this available water. And for that, benchmarking of irrigation projects is needed, and expert for today, Mrs. Rajvi Shabana Madam, definitely having a huge, her vast experience as executive engineer in Kada office will guide you. My appeal to all the students and faculty members to take benefit of this webinar. One more thing I would like to add, in Aurangabad there is a Kham river and there is a solid waste added to the water of Kham river, and that solid waste is flowing to the Jaikwadi Dam, and the same water may be lifted for drinking again back to Aurangabad. So we need to work on it that also to avoid the pollution of water. Also, industrial wastes are mixed with water, so this is also very dangerous for health of the human beings and animals and plants also. So there is a huge scope to work on these areas. My best wishes and welcome to the resource person, Sabana Madam, for this webinar. Also congratulations to all the organizers and also congratulations to all the participant students. Best wishes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Principal Sir. Let me introduce you today's resource person. So, Honorable Resource Person, Mrs. Sayyida Razvi Shabana Shirin, respected Principal of our college, respected HOD, faculties, participants, and my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome today's resource person. It is rightly said that reading makes a half man, writing makes a full man, speaking makes a complete man. I take this opportunity to introduce you all our today's speaker. She has graduated from Government Engineering College, Aurangabad. She acquired her master's degree from Pune University in Town and Country Planning. She worked as a visiting faculty in Government Engineering College and also in MIT College, Aurangabad. She also worked as a consulting engineer in Al Nisa Consultants, Aurangabad, and as a project estimator for steel estimating in AFCO Steel Incorporation, USA. As a student, she was very brilliant and topped merit list among girl students. She also had the honor to receive Chicago Scholarship and Inamdar Scholarship. She was awarded Appreciation Certificate by Government of Maharashtra for representing the state government at Central Water Commission, New Delhi. To her credit, she had prepared and published benchmarking reports of irrigation projects Maharashtra state from 2011 to 2016 by new methodology as directed by CWC New Delhi on website of Government of Maharashtra within a span of 1 year. At present, she is working as an executive engineer, Kada office, Aurangabad. On behalf of my college, I wholeheartedly welcome you to deliver your talk on benchmarking of irrigation projects in Maharashtra state. Now, it's over to you, Shabana.
Ma'am, thank you for your warm welcome. Myself, Shabana Razvi. First of all, I want to thank the Shresh Institute, the principal sir, the convener, and especially to Masrat madam. You arranged this webinar and gave me a chance to share my experience with all the students and the professionals on this topic of benchmarking of irrigation system. I am presently working as executive engineer and on the post of assistant chief engineer in Command Area Development Authority, Aurangabad. This is also a management office where definitely the water is stored and then it is discharged through various canals and outlets for various uses for irrigation as well as non-irrigation. Now, when we talk about benchmarking, whatever experience I had and I am going to share today is based on my past experience, which I almost my 5 to 6 years I was posted in Maharashtra Water Irrigation Master. It was MWRDC earlier. It was known as Maharashtra Water Resource Development Authority. So that office was specially opened under the chief engineer for water auditing and for benchmarking. Now I will explain after I start my presentation. So this is benchmarking of irrigation system. It is the privilege of government of Maharashtra that we are the pioneers of the benchmarking. We started in India. It was proposed internationally. Then India was given the told to, because India is basically a agricultural country, so we have a very far range of rainfall all over the country. So we need to benchmark our projects. We are having a lot of irrigation projects constructed. Now let us talk something about benchmarking. If you don't know what is benchmarking, so benchmarking is actually a tool. It's a tool for comparison, and to get by comparison, you should analyze, and then after analysis, you can uh, come to a conclusion that what needs to be done to a particular person or a particular institute or a particular organization, a particular business. What are the lacuna in that which needs to be enhanced? And this benchmarking is a tool for analyzing all the faults or whatever potential that thing is having, that organization is having to, in order to enhance it in the future. So a small example I will quote here for the, because here there are students. I have taken this presentation many times. I have delivered this one, but I always deliver with the professional engineers, as we are going to discuss about Maharashtra state. So this is only a basic information about the geographical area of Maharashtra, population in 2011, because we have prepared this presentation based on 2011 status report and 5 years back, because benchmarking is done on the present year, previous year, and previous 5 years data. So we have considered the population of 2011 year. Urban population is around 45%, and cultivable area is 225, and average cropped area is 180. So we have to now match this one. Coastal line of Konkan side is 720 kilometers, and this administrative divisions which we have made six regions according to the district wise. In the 36 district, we have made 36 regions in that, on which we work. We collect the data from all these 6 regions and then compile it, and then analyze it, and then we do the benchmarking. Annual rainfall of Maharashtra, as rightly said by our principal sir, that is ranging. We are having deficit area, we are having abundant normal area, we are having mixed type of rainfall we are having. And seasons are three, out of which rainy season is June to October, and in this benchmarking we consider the irrigation year. Next slide, please. Now, if we, this introduction is not about benchmarking, it is about Maharashtra state only, that it is agriculture based only. 80% of rural population is giving employment to 50% of the population in the state on uh, agricultural basis. As the state is situated in semi-arid region, so irrigation is playing a very crucial role in it. Without irrigation, all the productivity is not possible, crop productivity is not possible. And 70 to 80% of surface water, whatever we withdraw from the dams and canals, is given for irrigation only. Now, next slide, please. Okay, maps are not available in your phone, I think. Okay, doesn't matter. We have near about 4,000 media projects in the state of Maharashtra, out of which 88 are major and 297 medium. Total water storage created was 33070 mm cube, and sectoral allocation was 75% will be given for irrigation, 15% for drinking, and 10% for industrial. Irrigation potential created by the dams and canals and dishnet and etc. is 4.91 million hectare, and utilized is 2.4. So you can see here that 50% only we are utilizing out of the created. This is having two reasons. One reason is because of availability of rainfall, that is nature. Today, nowadays, when nowadays there is seasons are also fluctuating here and there with different ones because of climate change and all. Other reason is that the maintenance of the canal system, the dish net is not proper. Then there is theft. Then there is evaporation. Lot of evaporation is going. So that's why we have to concentrate on IP utilized. Next slide, please. Next slide, ma'am. This is the this I need to explain a little bit in detail. This graph is not visible in your presentation. Okay, I will show the percentages cultivable area of the state. Now, as we are doing the benchmarking, so benchmarking needs the comparison, as I explained you earlier. So comparison is always done on the similar type of things. We will not compare day with night. We cannot benchmark like that. We have to consider the some basic indicators we are going to finalize on that, which basis similar type of environment you need for similar type of rainfall conditions, similar type of discharge conditions. So similar type of evaporation should be there. So in out of whole Maharashtra geographical area, we have identified 5 plan groups. We quote it plan group. A highly deficit area which is having per hectare availability of water below 1500, then deficit will range from 1500 to 3000, normal 3000 to 8000, and surplus will be 8000 to 12000, and abundant is above 12000. So all these 5 are present in Maharashtra state. So Maharashtra state, if we have given the um, all the projects which we are having, basically we consider major and medium projects on priority. So if we distribute them in these areas, so 13% is cultivable area of the state is in highly deficit area. In deficit area is 32%, normal area is 34, surplus is 6, and abundant is 15%. Next slide, ma'am. This is very important because based on this only we do the benchmarking. Next slide, ma'am. Okay. Previous slide, please. Hello. Previous slide, please. Okay. So this water allocation priorities is national on the national level. The priorities first for drinking, then irrigation, then hydro, then ecology, and then agro and industries. But in Maharashtra, Maharashtra is also a pioneer state in making reforms and policies of the on water acts and everything. So Maharashtra has decided to give first priority to domestic and drinking, then agriculture and hydropower, then to industries, commercial agro-based industries, and then to environment and recreation, and like that. Next slide, ma'am. Now this is the tabular format of previous 10 years from 17 to 1998. So IP created was around 3000 to it gradually increased to 2016 near about 5000. And IP utilized, you can see that it was only uh, it is ranging to 50 to 60, maximum it is going to 67%. So this is the reason for this one is the fluctuating in the rainfall. For this fluctuation in the graph is due to the irregularity of the rainfall according to the availability of rainfall. That will prevail always, but we have to concentrate on the IP utilized percentage should increase gradually. Next slide, ma'am. Now this is output per unit irrigation water supply. This is one indicator of benchmarking. First, initially only I put this slide because I wanted to show how this highly deficit, normal, surplus, and abundant is having output per unit of irrigation water supply. Means it is not on the natural water supply. The output which we got according to the irrigation water supply. Now this is at the initial stage. To understand this is very difficult for the newcomers. We have a lot of study. 1 hour is not sufficient for this topic. We have training in Valmi for 3 days, and full 3 days training we have for one topic of benchmarking. You can understand. So this is only a tabular format which shows that how highly deficit is having output, and how the deficit is having output. I can see highly deficit having more values. You can observe that. So due to irrigation, this results we get. Next slide, ma'am. Now, if we compare all these things, then we can find out by benchmarking. Results are given here now. So these results we can utilize for the future planning of the projects. Next slide, ma'am. Hello. Okay. Now, as I told that Maharashtra is a pioneer state to make the policies and acts in legislation of water. So the state water policy was first initiated in 2003 and revised in 2011. And then MMISF Act and MWRRA was formed in 2005. And water auditing, as I told earlier only, it was initiated in 2000 only. And benchmarking especially was started from 2001 to 2011-12. After 11-12, suddenly so many of the project reports, benchmarking reports were not published because we were working on it and we wanted to change some indicators, and so much work was going on. I will explain it in the next slides. And then river basin agencies, in this topic the work is going on. Next slide, ma'am. Now, in the water sector reforms, Maharashtra is the pioneer. I told you, Water Resources Department is also preparing an integrated state water plan. It is known as ISWP for each of the 5 river basins and eventually for the entire state. This will act as a roadmap for sustainable development and management of water resources. And it also, WRD also envisages converting the IDCs, means we are having irrigation development corporations, GMIDC, KIDC, VIDC, Vidarbha Irrigation Development Corporation is there. Then Godavari Marathwada Irrigation Development Corporation is there. Konkan Irrigation is there. Vidarbha is there. So we want to convert it into river basin agencies. Next. Water sector reforms. Establishment of Water Resources Regulatory Authority was in 2005, and it has a rational approach for the bulk water tariff. Now, initially the bulk water tariff was not there for industrial, for irrigation and for domestic everything. This MWRRA was formed only for the deciding the bulk water tariff for different uses of water. This is a there was a steady increase in volumetric supply and charging of irrigation water to the associations. Now, this is water user associations was also initiated, and the empowerment of water user association through entitlement program. This was also under MWRRA. MWRRA is Maharashtra Water Resources Regulatory Authority, which envisages extension of the entitlement program to the entire command area, and presently 3,400 WUAs are functioning, covering about 1.1 million hectare of the command area. This WUA means Water User Association, means what the stakeholders which are for which who are getting the benefit of our water are the farmers. So what they think that our dishnet and our dams are not their dams, so they are not involved directly with the system. Actually, they are the part of the system. So this water user association thing was introduced, that whoever is the beneficiaries, they should form a water user association. They should not ask for water individually for their farm. They should, whoever will register in the water association will get the water. Then at the point where they are getting the water, from there all their dishnet they have to take the maintenance. They will be given some subsidies and all. So next slide, ma'am. MMI Farmers Act, there this whatever I explained just now is the same. So four types of water user associations were formed. Minor level water user association will be known as WUA, distributor level DLA, canal level CLA, and project level PLA. Next, ma'am. Yeah. Water pricing. So prior to 2010, the water rates in Maharashtra were decided by the WRD on ad hoc basis. But MWRA initiated that development of a rational approach for determining the criteria of bulk water tariff system for agricultural, domestic, and industrial. Now this MWRA is also having whatever disputes are there, they are quasi-judicial also. They are dealing with all whatever problems are coming in because they have raised the rate. So many people are taking objections and say they solve that also. The first edition of the bulk tariff for the period of 2010 to 13 was introduced in 2011, and subsequently the second was initiated in 2013 to 16 was prepared, and now also previous 3 years is going on in our office. We are working on that. Next slide, ma'am. Now we will come out of the legislation and see something about the supporting organizations which the WRD works with the coordination of. There is Central Design Organization, CDO is in Nashik. Then there is Dam Safety Organization. Then there is Maharashtra Engineering Research Institute, MERI. And then Maharashtra Engineering Training Academy. This gives training to all the engineers from JE to CE level. And then Directorate DIRD is in Pune, and then Vigilance and Quality Control is one department. Mechanical Organization is there, and Water and Land Management Institute, Valmi, is also a part of WRD. And this the thing highlighted, which is Chief Auditor, Water and Irrigation, Maharashtra State. This only name was changed in 2016. It was working from 2001. This is a special office which was created for the water auditing and for the benchmarking of the irrigation projects. Next slide, ma'am. So now who are deciding the policies of benchmarking? MWRA is the authority for tariff and all. But what about the policies making and everything about benchmarking? We are definitely getting guidance from INSEAD and from CWC New Delhi, but Maharashtra state has made a core group on which the benchmarking of irrigation projects, all policies, all indicators, which indicators you should take, how many projects we should take for the study. All these things are decided in this core group. Let us see what is this core group. Next slide, ma'am. So this constitution of this core group was held on 26 June 2006 at Mantralaya, and this is the GR quoted for that, in which all the details were quoted. Next, ma'am. So this was the first core group which was formed, in which the secretary of the Command Area Development Mantralaya will be the chairman, and all the CEs of Mumbai, Pune, Nashik, Aurangabad, Nagpur. Then Chief Engineer of Hydrology Project Nashik, Deputy Secretary of the department, and definitely the Chief Auditor, which is the office for benchmarking, will be the member. All other members and secretary will be the chairman. This was decided in 2006. Next, ma'am. Only here some two chief engineers of Amravati and they were added. Next, ma'am. In 2013. Now, what is the activities of this core group? There are three core group. This core group will not, every now and then it is not acting. Only when there is some need of a policy, when there is a need for a study to come together and to decide something, then only core group is having their meetings. So up till 2016, only 3 core group meetings were held. So state governments should organize the state level and project level workshops was decided in that. So accordingly, we had taken a workshop in Nagpur on 5th September 2013. Any other member, if required, should be added. That was one policy. The core group shall call meetings often as necessary by the chairman of the core group. And MWSC Aurangabad will provide all administrative and other assistance to the core group as required. Next, ma'am. Now, these were the important points which were the base of the benchmarking, which was decided in the first meeting, and they were about the analysis of last 5 years data. 232 projects were taken and 12 indicators were selected. And the name of the these indicators are output per unit irrigation area and output per irrigation water supply, operation and maintenance indicators. And what actions were taken is written here. Now, water use ratio per unit area, cost and recovery ratio per unit area and per unit water supply with respect to establishment charges were decided. Establishment charges means in particular office how many people are working over there, their salary will also be included in that. And then benchmarking and water audit by chief engineer. Note by CE of every irrigation for every irrigation year is necessary. Central government assistance was told that they will give us central government assistance, but till 2006 we have already published a few reports, but we didn't get any central government assistance till Maharashtra state didn't stop. And BM of other institutes were also initiated. This is all administrative types. We will take next slide. In the second meeting, main thing was 2 new indicators were introduced in the second meeting. And who will BM of major and medium projects will be done by MWRDC, and minor projects. This was very important meeting. And on all these points of this meeting, I was lucky. I was really lucky to work on all these 2 indicators. We have prepared all these indicators, get sanctioned from Mantralaya. We have worked on every part of it. Then for this also I've done all the letter work. Much work we have to do on this for deleting the minor irrigation product from the office and giving it to the respective CE offices, because minor projects are too much, and minor projects if we do in MWRDC office, it was having of no use, because at CE level it will be more effective if the benchmarking of their minor projects is done. Then at that time when I was there, from 13 to 17 I was there, so we were working under the DG Valmi. Then other things are okay. Next as we take submission of action plan by field officers also I missed in the last slide, because benchmarking was going on, but nobody was taking any action. So in the meeting in 2013, it was decided that every CE will make whatever values we give them, benchmarking values, whatever we give them each year. According to those values, they will study and they will make an action plan and submit it to the CE of the audit office. Now, last meeting was held on purely on the benchmarking of Water User Association. This was another part of the benchmarking report which we publish in the Government of Maharashtra publication, that there is a chapter where we use benchmarking of Water User Association. So Water User Association is a part and parcel. It is going to play a very important role in the irrigation sector. We need to benchmark that also. So we decided the indicators also, that assessment recovery ratio, operation and maintenance cost per unit irrigated area, then output per unit water use, and gender participation, potential delineated versus potential utilized. Next slide, ma'am. So all that which I discussed till now was a broad review of whatever is whatever how the government of Maharashtra initiated, how the office is there, what is the core group, and what is water user association, everything. Now let us see what is the status of benchmarking in Maharashtra. Next slide, ma'am. Now we will see the objectives that to evaluate performance of the project in terms of adequacy of irrigation, water use efficiency, and operation and maintenance cost. That is system performance, then efficiency, then financial performance of the project. On all these things are important to be evaluated. Then second was evaluate spatial equality achieved. That means equitable distribution of water from head to tail. Equitable distribution of water is going on or not, and what are the lacunae in that. To assess irrigation potential created and utilized, that I am discussing from the starting, that IP created versus IP utilized is the main target of our benchmarking. That why we have created so much and we can't utilize this. What is the problem in that? Next, ma'am. Now we'll come directly to methodology of benchmarking. Benchmarking of irrigation was initiated in 1-2 with very few projects, and over years we are increasing them. So in 2011 we published proudly 1237 projects in the state with 12 indicators, and separate organization is working, that is I told you. Next slide. Now benchmarking is actually analytical study. So what we need with the analytical study, whenever we are doing some analysis, we'll need some data, we'll need database. From where we are going to get the database? So actually this water audit office is first, it is doing water auditing. So we have offices from section level to division, subdivisions, then there are divisions, then there are circles, then there is chief engineer, and then after all chief engineer there is chief auditor office. So in the water auditing, what this water audit office has done, that they have made some templates in order to get similar data from all over Maharashtra. Water auditing office has, I can't show you here because we cannot display those. They are government templates actually. So I have no link about, I have not put the link here, but I will explain you orally that water auditing templates are made. Some templates we need for basic information from the rotation period. As you start the rotation and the rotation is going on, from there some data is collected. Those templates are filled in the, means what we are doing actually is we are going from part to the whole. And then at the very basic part section level we have some templates. Those templates are then filled up and then they are sent to the section level. From section level they are sent to the division level. At division level we are having some templates. Then on the basis of section level information they will fill up that, they will send it to the circle level. Division level. Division level will send to circle level. Circle level will only compile it, check it, and then they will certify it. And water audit we need for water auditing and benchmarking. The cutoff is CE level. Cutoff is superintending engineer. That is the circle level. He has to certify that all the data we have given is proper, and then they will certify and then they will send circle wise. We receive the data in the audit office. Once we get the water auditing reports, then we check it, everything we get corrected and all. Then once the water audit report is and the water audit values are finalized, those water audit values are the base for the benchmarking. You're getting? So that was all about the, only on first point I am discussing water auditing. That is a very vast subject, water auditing. Next thing was benchmarking was started on pilot basis with 9 indicators. And for every indicator, comparison is done for, we need the data for previous 5 years, the last year and the present year. So total 7 years data if we have, then only we can benchmark a particular project. So project when it starts its irrigation year, then we start the water auditing of that project. But that project is not taken in benchmarking until it is having a previous 5 years data plus current year data plus last year data. Then only that is coming for the analysis. Then financial indicator prices are taken from agricultural department. Next slide, please. So here the stages are there. Obviously, we are going to plan first, then the data collection. I told you already, explained you already how the section level to SE level to circle level data is gone. Then from there, the data is coming to the audit office, and then there it is corrected and everything finalized. And then at the third level is our R level, where the water auditing and benchmarking analysis is started. This analysis also having two parts. This analysis is we compile all the things according to the plan groups, according to the basin wise we do, then we do project wise, all three types of analysis we do. Then we compile all the data, then we have a particular software which we are outsourcing actually. So we submit all all that data, compiled data in our particular formats. This analysis, third is the analysis part I was telling, that in that analysis part we are having two types of analysis. First, at the office level, in our office analysis is done, compiled, and then those we are having some special templates of benchmarking. Those data is received, then all those benchmarking templates are given for outsourcing, and they are imported in a software, and we have also worked with that software, and we have told them how to design what result we want in tabular format as well as in graphical format. So then we all the projects are imported there, project wise, plan group wise, and then region wise, and then we are getting the results in tabular format and in graphical format. Then the integration is done, and then action is taken at the CA level. Once the integration is done, we are publishing the report, and then action, and then monitoring and evaluation should be done at the local level, means at the project level. Next slide, ma'am. Who is giving the methodology guidelines? So this is an Indian National Committee on Irrigation and Drainage, INSID. You will get this on net also. It gave our office a detailed report of how to do what indicators are adopted, how the indicators should be developed, which indicators you should suggest for your particular Maharashtra state. All those guidelines were given by I am having a booklet of this also, but I give it to my engineers of my department. If somebody needs for study, they can contact me. Next slide, ma'am. Now, water audit as base of benchmarking. So I have already explained, I think. This we will take next slide. So the indicators selected. So here in red you can see the indicators are divided into system performance head, then agricultural production head, and then financial head. Okay, so in system performance only there are 3 indicators, agricultural production 2 indicators, and financial there are 6 indicators. So 6 into 8, 9, 10, 11, and one is cost recovery ratio. In all 12 indicators we were working till 2011, and afterwards we have again increased and many changes. Now today benchmarking report is newly published now. This is the base which was initially done. Next, ma'am. This is the year-wise information of how the indicators were initially taken. Then what was the domain and what was the indicator? The domain of system performance, annual irrigation water supplied per unit irrigated area was the indicator for system performance. For agricultural productivity, there were 2 performance indicators: output per unit irrigated area and output per unit irrigation water supplied. When water was supplied and how much output you got, and actual irrigated area, how much the water reached. how much area did we irrigate actually by releasing that water, and in that area how much output we received. Then in financial aspects, 6 indicators were there, performance indicators. Cost recovery ratio was there, the total operation and maintenance cost, then revenue per unit volume of water supplied. In this revenue part, third one, we get very less revenue from irrigation. We get maximum water for irrigation, but we get revenue from non-irrigation water supply. Maintenance cost due to maintenance cost to revenue ratio, and man days for operation and maintenance per unit area. The total operation and maintenance cost per unit volume of water supplied. This you have to work on it, and then you have to understand it. And then in environmental aspects, the domain of environmental aspect, there is land damage index. Because of the salinity due to water logging and everything, land is damaged. So land damage index is also calculated. That data is also collected. But in future, this was deleted from the report. But our office is having all the data collected and compiled, land damage index. In 2002-3 system performance, one more indicator was added, equity performance. So in that equity performance, head, middle and tail, like that the canal or fishnet was distributed into 3 parts, and then their equity performance was found out. Then one indicator was deleted in 2002-3, maintenance cost to revenue ratio we discussed earlier. Then in financial aspects, assessment recovery ratio was introduced for irrigation as well as for non-irrigation separately. In 6-7, again mandates was deleted. In 8-9, system performance, annual irrigated area per unit water supplied was introduced. Initially what we saw, annual irrigation water supplied per unit irrigated area. But here per unit water supplied was introduced. Then land damage index we deleted from 11-12. And in 13-14, water delivery capacity index and participatory irrigation management index, that is PIM index, was introduced. And I had worked for these 2 indicators. I have worked a lot. Then I have made the template also, I have revised. And I was lucky to work for this 13-14 new 2 indicators introduced. This is not shown in this presentation, but after from 13-14 onwards, we are working on 14 indicators. Next, ma'am. These are the same only, which we are using now. This last 2 will discuss water delivery capacity index. So water delivery capacity index, in this we are going to the regulators now. So what is the capacity of the regulator and how much it is discharging, and what is the capacity of the canal. So that is water delivery capacity index. And participatory irrigation management index means, participatory means, again here comes water user association. So whatever the participatory irrigation management is going on, so based on their values we are collecting, and then we are making an index, and then we are benchmarking that part also. Next, ma'am. Here are the benchmarking indicators which we just now we discussed. So the indicator number, how it is given is 1, 1A, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. So indicator 1 is annual irrigation water supply per unit irrigated area. It is cubic per hectare. And the 1A is hectare per cubic. Now, these are the last column. You will be I will be introducing you the state target. So the state target is, I can't explain you here, but each value is calculated actually based on all from the base which we have taken this formula from. There is a basis for that. The state target is decided. So for indicator 1, it was 7692. For annual area irrigated per unit of water supply is 130. Potential created and utilized should be 1. But when will come? We will not get more than 0.5 or 0.4 also here. 0.5 means maximum. Then output per unit irrigated area 21,000 to 32,000. Output per unit irrigation water supply is 2.69 to 4.16. Rupees per cubic it is. 3 to 4 rupees per cubic it means. And output per unit irrigated area means here we are talking in hectares. So rupees means 20 to 30,000 rupees per hectare we need. Cost recovery, it is a ratio, so it is 1. Annual O&M cost per unit area is 1250. And annual total O&M cost per unit water supplied is 0.16. Revenue per unit water supplied is 0.18. Next, ma'am. So indicator 1, major project. I can't show this slide here, but I will. Next slide, ma'am. These were the links actually, but I can show it in the department only. So we will skip this one. We'll take the next. This is the indicator 1, major projects. This is the graphical representation we get as our final product. So here is all the circles are given. You can see here it is written Kada Sholapur, AIC Aurangabad, BPC Buldhana, Kada Aurangabad, Kada Beed. These are all the management circles. And each management circle is having couple of projects. And these 3 colors are showing their blue color is showing the 5-year average, pink is showing last year average, and green is showing this year performance and last year performance. And the red line which is going horizontally is showing the state target. And the dash we can see are past maximum and past minimum. So here you can see that red line is going here. Some indicators are just striking high above the state target, and some are going very low. So we then, after we get this graph in the office, we minutely study each and every circle, and circle wise we used to make the whatever our investigation you should say, or whatever suggestions we make circle wise. So we put it text in the text of our report. And then there is deficit, then there is normal, then surplus, then abundant. So this graph is having so many things in one. So many things. All the circles are there, and their performance according to their plan group wise major projects are shown here. Next one. Now that was the total Maharashtra was shown in that. Here you can see the indicator 1 of major, medium, and tabular format and graphical format. So here the indicator 1, the state target is 7692. What are the values? Some values are 10,000, 8,000, 10,000, 7,000, 5,000. According to the state target, we have to compare them. Next one. This is second indicator. The state target is 1. The potential created and utilized. Ratio of potential utilized to created irrigation potential. So here what we have done, we have major, medium, and minor here. It is not for one major or one medium. It is the cumulative value. It is not the additional value. It is cumulative value. That is a different study we make. There were some rules for that. And we then cumulate this value for major, it comes to 0.91. The target is 1. For major in 7-8, it came 0.88. Then here, how it increased? 9-10, how does this value 1.07? And then in 10-11, again 0.8 for the major project. Like that, we analyze. Next. You just see the slide for a few minutes, and we will go further, because all the indicators are how the indicators are graphically. This is the first chapter and the final product of the all benchmarking report. Actually, step by step, the report is very bulky, but this is only the first chapter which we get as a final result. For all over Maharashtra, you can see these values are for all over Maharashtra projects at a glance, you can see. Next, annual operation and maintenance cost per unit area. So what was the target? 1250 to 1150. But how much we incurred? 1850, 4000, 3000. So that means that operation and maintenance was more. Next. Then O&M cost per unit water supply. This is 0.16 to 0.7. It is all ranging above 0.17 only. All. Next. This is revenue per unit water supplied, ratio of total revenue collected to the quantity of water supplied during that year. So the state target is ranging from 0.18 to 0.19, but we are getting different values. Some in major projects we get nice figures, but medium decreases, then minor again decreases very low. Next. Then this is the 12th indicator, which is assessment recovery ratio of irrigation. This ratio should be actually 1. So it is not going more than 0.5, I think. Next. And then assessment recovery of non-irrigation, it is going very high because we are getting revenue from non-irrigation. Next. Now this is the presentation from the year 2002 to 2015. Number of projects which we took for benchmarking were initially 6 in 2002, 84 in 2003, directly 254 in 2004, 262 in 2008, then directly jumped to 1237 in 2011, then 2014 3816 and 2015 3816. Now the ICA created in 2002 was not defined. Then year it was 2003 12 lakh 98,000, 24 lakh, then 24 lakh 76, then in 2011 45 lakh hectare. So next, ma'am. Now this is the table which is showing that all this work whatever we have done since 2001 to 2015-16, how the major projects we increased in the benchmarking reports from 30 we started, then 49 till 2006-7, then 48 till 2008-9, and then 50 in 2009-10 and 10-11, 11-12, 48 projects again we took. Due to some technical reason, this was less. Then we gradually increased from 2012-13 from 51 to 87, 88, then 88. This is about the major projects. Then likewise, medium projects also we gradually increased from 26 to 140, then to 170, and then to 297. Minor projects, we just took 28 projects initially for study, then increased it to 69. Then in 2019, directly we took 1,000 projects. We were able to collect the data for 1,000. That means, and then we came to 3,000 and 3,400. Then total projects, if we consider for benchmarking, we have done initially for 84 projects, then for 254 projects, and then for 1,200, and then 1,300, and then 3,800, and then 3,819 till 11, 15, 16. And number of indicators on which we studied and analyzed were 10, then 11, then 12. Then we deleted the land damage index. Then we again worked on 11. Then again worked on 12 for last 3 years. From 10, 11 to 12, 13, 14. Then after 13, 14 onwards, we are going for 14 indicators. And these are the year of publication. So this from March 2003, March 2004. Initially, every year the publication was going regularly. 2003, 4, 5, then February 2006, March 7, 8, 9, 10, and then April 11. After April 11, September 12, then December 15 was. This was in for the benchmarking report of 11-12. We had lot of study going on and some corrections were there. Some things were to be fixed. So the 11-12 was very late. In December 2015, we published it. And after this, whatever is written in this slide, under process, this I was given this, and for this, actually my 3 years was over, and my tenure in that office was over. But my CE brought special permission from Mantralaya. He gave an extension for 2 years to me, and then I was given a target that I should give all this 2012, 13, 13, 14, 14, 15, and 15, 16. All these 4 reports I should publish in the Government of Maharashtra website. Then only I will be transferred to the other office. So I worked it. Till now, whatever we discussed was the old methodology of the benchmarking reports. But when the third core group meeting was done in New Delhi, lot of changes were decided, and the next 4 reports which are here written as under process are already published by me. It is available on the website. You can see, and the graphs and the methodology is totally changed. Next, please. Now, how are the results of benchmarking finalized? The presentation of every indicator is done with past 5 years average, recent, past, and present year, in order to compare the performance of that project with predecessors as well as own performance of last year. So this sentence is literally confusing, or you will not get it, but I will explain that 5 years average of recent, past, and present year. This is having 2 types of presentation of each indicator. That project is compared internally and externally also. That project is compared with itself, with its own performance for previous 5 years, recent, past, and present year. Then it is compared with other projects. So that is external evaluation. And then when it is compared with itself, it is internal evaluation. Then the draft report was scrutinized in MWRDC and in Mantralaya, Mumbai. And results for deviation from last year's performance and state norm are called from each circle. Because till now we are correcting and then we are analyzing. Again, we found some correction. But at last, when there is state target is, they are deviating very much from the state target, then we call from the circle. What was the reason for that? Next, please. Now, how these benchmarking results are actually application of the benchmarking, we are coming to that part now. Annual benchmarking report is published. It is published on the government website. Okay. Then circle-wise results are discussed in meetings among the water providers. We are arranging meetings at each circle office. Then all the CE and SE are called. So we are taking 3 monthly, bi-monthly meetings. Then state regional seminars and workshops are conducted, and reports are circulated to NGOs working in the field of public awareness about the water use. Next. Action suggested for improvement at the field level. Naturally, what we are discussing is analytical, and we are working at the very so for if what we get in the first indicator, annual water supplied per unit area irrigated, cubic per hectare. So systematic planning, execution of water rotation schedule, starting from there the action is suggested. Coordination among the division and the monitoring at SE level. SE level is monitoring from the SE office, and the thing is the rotation is going on there. So they should have proper coordination. Then second one is identification and repairs to high bank reaches to curb leakages. If all we are doing and the leakages are there and repairs are not done, then this is going to definitely fail. And repairs And then whatever values we are getting from the head regulator, cross regulator, outlet gates. If they are not calibrated properly, they are not working properly, what values we are getting and on what basis we are going to analyze everything. So this needs to be checked. Then repairs to CD works having significant leakages. Promote night irrigation. In day irrigation, what happens? First of all, the water is evaporated from the reservoir already. Then if you do the irrigation in the daytime, their possibilities are more. Means water while flowing also it is evaporated. Then leakages are there. Then theft is also there. Theft is minimized if you do the night irrigation. And second thing is evaporation is also minimized. And then training to the staff and farmers should be given publicly. This thing is to be discussed. They take it seriously. Lot of saving of water can be done. Next, please. This was about the first indicator. Now, second indicator, potential created and potential utilized. So what action we suggest after doing all the work of the benchmarking of the second indicator? Revise present cropping pattern. In India, it is very hard actually. Small land parts are there like tailor cutting, and in that small everybody is cropping according to their ease and their priority. So we need to present a cropping pattern to the particular area. Then promote area under low water demanding crops in Rabi and hot weather season. Promote area under irrigation in Kharif season. Then only potential utilized can increase. Otherwise, potential will be created, but it will not see in the means output will not get. Now, third is output per unit irrigated area. So, cash crops should be promoted like orange and this sugar cane. So everybody is taking that only. It needs more water. Try highly yield crops with the help of agricultural department. Consider realistic crop yield for output evaluation. Next, please. Now, fourth one is the output per unit of water supplied. So, output, how we'll get output per unit water supplied? Means each drop of water you should get maximum output. So, improve the irrigation system performance. Means if the system is working nicely, if you will supply water from in the marble channels, then you will get 100% of output. Then you will have the cash crops, you will get more output. If you will have realistic crop yield for evaluation, you will get more output. Fifth is cost recovery ratio. Now here the departmental administration comes. CRT staff personnel parallel to approved staff should be there, because always on the site the staff is less. So train a selected CRT staff for personnel for irrigation water management. Then transfer irrelevant excess staff, electrician, road roller, operator. So because of this, the cost incurred on a particular project will be less. Next. Now, what is the reason for underutilization? We have already discussed poor maintenance of infrastructure. And why it is there? Because of financial constraints of the department. Then poor and non-participation of the beneficiaries. Here comes the second part is defining again the water user association. If water user association are more than 10,000, it is ranging till 4,000. If everybody is going to form a group, they are going to be a part of the government, and all the farmers are going to, stakeholders are going to come together, then the participation of beneficiaries will come. Then we will have very enhanced benefits. Diversion of irrigation projects to non-irrigation uses. Diversion of irrigation water to non-irrigation uses if we'll opt for that option. Changes in cropping pattern. One field should have one time, it should have another time, it should go for another pattern of crop. Scattered irrigation resulting in low efficiency. Then low utilization during Kharif or any season. And inaccurate assessment or measurement of the irrigated area. This is all due to the manual correction, manual errors Next. Now, we will come to the final part that after we publish the annual benchmarking report on the website, then this is discussed in state and regional meeting and the reports are circulated to NGOs. I think this is repeated slide. Next one. What are the difficulties faced in grouping large number of schemes on similar footing and getting quality data at the source? That we already discussed, that if the head regulator and cross regulator, they are not calibrated properly, plus there is no staff available for that. When the rotation is going on, there is no staff. So how you will get quality data? Motivating and keeping interest of project authorities. That is genuine reasons these are. Next one. So the lessons we learned till now are improvement in water user association. I'm so sorry. Improvement in water use efficiency is the main target actually. Then improvement in overall performance through adopting of the best practices, that is cropping pattern or whatever we discussed earlier. Benchmarking exercises enthusiased competitive spirit among project authorities towards improvement of project. Means benchmarking exercise, whatever we are doing, that should be taken seriously by the project authorities. Next. Now, actually in CADA office, we are going through this now. This whatever presentation I showed you was the basics of the benchmarking and whatever was done till 11 and 12, 2011 and 12. Now use of IoT and remote sensing, we are having lot of work we are doing in my CADA office. We have already designed, if time permits, I can only tell you orally that we are collecting the data of the farmers also now. And we are developing the software such that all the things we should happen on mobile phone. Like we are collecting the mobile database of all the farmers and all the stakeholders. Irrigation, non-irrigation, so we can get easily, but irrigation we are taking. Then remote sensing we are doing from we are going to do the drone survey and then drone management. So nobody can, the theft of water will be reduced, and the drone and the remote sensing will give us the accurate data of the irrigated area. Means how much water was given and the ownership of the lands and how much they have cropped, and when in our command area, what is the accurate command area. And capturing data at the source to get quality data and avoid delays. So for this, we are having eJal Seva, transferring ownership of process to irrigation development corporations. That is policy matter now. New incentives to maintain healthy competition among project authorities. Now incentives means we are going, we already we have already told, and GRs are also there. Government resolutions are also there, that there are some award winning WUS are awarded each year. Then the performance of a particular project is nice, so they are also awarded. They are given more incentives, more funding is given to them, like that. Next. Now, what are the challenges is actually in the last decade, the state has been witnessing increasing conflicts among irrigation and non-irrigation users. So non-irrigation use demand is more actually, but we are not able to give them. Irrigation in particular is facing challenges of low utilization of the created potential, low water use efficiency, over exploitation of the groundwater. Because this point, over exploitation of groundwater, is that people are initially there was tariff on well also. Even in the command area there is a well, we used to charge them. But afterwards, the government of Maharashtra decided that we should not charge them for the well. But actually, that well is saturated because of the command water only. So that because of that over exploitation of groundwater is going on, which we can't monitor, and poor O&M cost recovery. So O&M cost recovery, what is the rule of the government is that whatever O&M cost you will collect, that much only you will be given to your project for your future maintenance. Means government is not giving from their own pocket. You have to collect your recovery. So if a particular project is not getting the recovery, its dish net is going to be poor in its maintenance. As per Maharashtra Water and Irrigation Commission, 1999, the water demand in 2030, both from surface and groundwater, is likely to be about 103 billion cubic meter, comprising 86% for irrigation and 14% for non-irrigation. This is a challenge for 2030. Next, that is a census report. Next. Now, what the findings we got, that reforms are not, whatever reforms we made from 2003, 2005, all reforms are not accepted always by all. So all the stakeholders who were exploiting situations show displeasure. Then upstream or head reach stakeholders strongly resist sharing water with their fellows on downstream or tail reach. Then other related line departments feel the regulatory authority as encroachment and unnecessary intervention in their affairs and are reluctant to cooperate wholeheartedly. But regulatory authority is very strict. Presently, only about 13% of total water supplied to irrigation is provided and charged on volumetric basis, and remaining is still be charged on area basis. So here we are not getting the recovery problem. Next. In order to implement the reform initiatives, a paradigm shift in the water management culture is needed. Water sector is dominated by the government, and more than technical issues, socio-political system dominates the decisions. This is also what I should not quote it, but it is prevailing in our socio-political system, is always dominating the decisions. Focus on specialization and interdisciplinary team approach in water management is called for in the findings. Next. So we can conclude here that there is need to have forums or platforms for water professionals, academics, research institutions, and industrial professionals to share good practices, concerns, and evolve solutions to the problems. Means public awareness is very necessary, especially in the learned people, and they should have forums and platforms to discuss that whatever lot of study is going on, but how to implement it, how to enact according to that results, so that we can get, because agriculture and water is a very big challenges in the future. More and more engineers and irrigation managers and bureaucrats need to expose to the latest irrigation technology and best water management practices as in other states and countries. Next. So it is concluded that many hurdles and challenges in implementation of irrigation reforms, and it may take couple of decades, I think, to harvest the fruits of these initiatives. So there should be a dedicated water bureaucracy, competent professionals, strong political will, vibrant civil society, and NGOs actively participating in the consultative process in order to make the process successful. This is not an essay type I'm telling, but when you are doing all the technical data, you are analyzing everything. So where the main hurdles are coming, that is discussed in this conclusion. Next. So I wanted to quote this here, that according to Stockholm Water Prize laureate Acid Biswas, quoted here that in 2007, that if some Asian countries face a water crisis in future, it would not be because of physical scarcity of water, but because of inadequate and inappropriate water governance, management practices, institutional arrangements, and socio-political conditions which leave much to be desired. So this is the main conclusion actually. Next one. So how to start with this slide, actually our presentation is over, I can declare, but these two slides I've specially put here because when I visited Central Water Commission, and there, uh, in spite of having our Maharashtra is already a pioneer doing the benchmarking of thousands of projects in Maharashtra state, but to the bad luck of India as a whole, only Maharashtra is working on benchmarking. Other states are not working. So if any others, if somebody is belonging to any other state and they want to initiate with the benchmarking process, how simply they can initiate is that you start with only two indicators. We can suggest them that you start with only two indicators. Because what is going to happen after river linking, we need to have the benchmarking data of other projects of the other states also. So we should initiate the other states also to start the benchmarking process with at least two indicators and collect data actually available at section, subdivision and division level for a few years, then formulating the performance evaluation indicator, processing this data into a graphical representation, comparing the project itself with the with few years, that is internal assessment, and comparing the project with other similar projects as external assessment. And then next please. So Government of Maharashtra, Chief Auditor, Water and Irrigation, Government of Maharashtra is doing water auditing and benchmarking since last 18 years. And various pro forma templates have been prepared based on experiences. And Government of Maharashtra is ready and willing to give technical guidance for benchmarking to all other states of India. Valmi, a renowned training institute of Government of Maharashtra, can provide necessary training for the same. So thank you very much. We are having a helping hand to all the students and the professionals, whoever want to have the data or want to study or want to participate in the process. And at the end, I am here to forward a special gratitude towards the principal, Dr. R.S. Pawar, convener, Shri S. Behre sir, and especially I want to thank Masrat Madam, Masrat Sultana Madam, Professor of Shreyash Institute, for providing this opportunity with her tireless efforts and special humble approach she made to me, so that I can avail this platform and share my experience today and initiate this event successfully. Thank you very much.